Subscribe for more. Full episodes released Wednesdays.
So this is how I know it was between my first and second intubation, because I wake up, of course, I'm in tons of pain. Like, I had never had pain before because I had never really had health issues. So much pain. And of course, they had me on every single drug they're known to mankind. I never got addicted to anything, shockingly. You'd understand that probably more than me. But I'm a redneck naturally, too, so we metabolize very differently, and they were giving me oxycodone and fentanyl. And fentanyl they were giving like every hour, and my body was metabolizing it every 20 minutes. So it was almost like I was getting overdose, withdrawal. I mean, there was just no balance, and so there was just some very scary days. But when I woke up, I was very disoriented. My sister ended up being in there. Her name's the sister Jill. And she said, so I couldn't talk, obviously, I had a ventilator, but they got the alphabet out and I would point to things. And I didn't even have strength mostly to do that. It would take a long time to communicate anything, long time. So she said, you started pointing out K, D, and she said, do you want me to tell your kids something? I mean, they're trying to help me, right?
Yes.
And I must have shook my head, and she said, okay, I kept going. So K-I-D-N-A-P, and she's like, when I realized you spelled kidnap, she said, I had left to run an errand because you were doing better. Yeah, I was doing better because I was coming back to my body, right? So they were taking the ventilator out. And she says, as soon as you said that, she goes, I wanted to grab the garbage can and throw up. I was just like sick. Like, what happened? You know, she was scared for me. And right then, the nurse and the doctor walked in to extubate me and take the tubes out. And she said, when they took them out, you could talk. You couldn't talk very well, but she goes, you had a lot to say. So, But the first thing I remember was being a little bit, there were spirits in the room, at least 3, which is interesting because I had someone else, that's had near-death experiences, like, name them who was in there. And I was like, you're probably right, So it's kind of cool how you just start getting pieces as you go along and you get the rest of the story. So she showed me, open the door, the drawers and everything, that nobody's in here. And I was like, yeah, I'm the only one that can see them, obviously. So that was happening. And then the spiritual experience was the one. Okay, so that one was a really defining moment. So the spiritual one was the last experience that I remember. There might have been out of body after that, but I remember this one was after the near death. And I was really feeling defeated because, here I am, second time on the ventilator. Like, my sisters would update people on Facebook because I have friends all over the world, and they were hanging on to that. That's the only way they knew anything. And she said sometimes a week would go by and nothing had gotten better or worse. There wasn't anything to report. We always tried to keep it uplifting, but we also would post pictures of you knowing you would let us, but I looked horrible. So anyway, I remember my cousin sent a text to whatever sister was there that day and said, please read this to Holly because I know she's not doing well. She lived out of town. She said, I normally wouldn't send this kind of an experience on a text, but I really feel like she needs to hear it, remember? And so because I was on a ventilator still. And so she said, they read it to me and I was like, I remember thinking, oh, how sweet. And it was basically her praying for my husband and I for our well-being. And she had all these spirits around her. Like, she's more of a feeler and I'm more visual. And so she started asking who was there. And she said in the text, like, all these dead ancestors and relatives that we had that were there, and basically letting us know we had this support behind us. Well, they must have put me back in a coma because I wasn't doing well. And I remember being really, really angry. I was so mad. I was like, because she's kind of like a sister cousin. So I was like, this isn't fair. I'm the one suffering. Like, why did she get to have that experience and I didn't?
Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, would you please rate it, review it, like, or subscribe? You can find me on social media at watchyourwellness.com, Dr. Stephanie Wattier on Instagram, or Watch Your Wellness Chiropractic and Massage on Facebook. And I'm so curious where your next conversation will take you.